Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Levon is doing, sort of going along the very, very central lines here.
Yeah. What do you know of White's attempts at an advantage here, Peter? Because I've struggled. I've looked at this a bit from the white side and haven't found anything too convincing.
I think, well, yeah, I've never really spent any serious time trying to find anything better. I think it very much centers around, there's this position, right? You include rook e8, rook e1, I think. And then you go h6, and we get this very long line where we take on d4, black plays queen d8, which looks a bit shocking when you see it for the first time. But actually makes a ton of sense because b6 was hanging, and the knight on b3 is by far the worst piece White has here. So not letting it come to either d4 or d2 easily makes a ton of sense. So queen d8, if the trade happens, once again, we've denied every single square to this knight, which is very important. And here I think the main line goes like queen c3, c5, okay, d1, queen, let's say c7, and we go knight c1. Very important move, protecting a2, and also kind of hoping to eventually maybe have enough time to play 3, 4, a3, knight e4, knight f4. If all of this happens, obviously we're just a very healthy pawn up, but Black has a very sound structure, very good bishop, which could be on b7, could be on e6, both squares are, could be on h3. Rattling through through the moves here. After all of this, knight d4 wasn't even played. He chose knight c1 to make sure that b2 is traded for c6, and that the knight and the bishop stay on the board. And then they got this position, which looks kind of ugly for black, but is also just a 4 against 4, with the weaknesses reasonably well covered. And now a kind of an interesting question here. Do we actually just play rook h1 takes h5?
Yeah.
Which results in maybe the ugliest collection of pawns, and also like the most beautiful knight against the most ugly bishop in existence. I think it's a draw, so it's kind of irrelevant how beautiful anything looks.
Yeah, you can also kind of destabilize the white pawns, rook h2, sometimes rook f1 behind.
No, knight f4 was just to illustrate how beautiful the square is.
Yeah.
We are always playing king d2 first and then king e3 to make sure that you cannot get to this pawn. But my larger argument stands. But I just, as we were describing,
No way through.
yeah, like this is very, very unappealing, but also impossible to attack, sort of.
Yeah, I have a feeling he'll go for this. I guess the alternative is to keep the b pawn alive a bit longer, but actually, can you even keep the b pawn alive in the game? Maybe he'll start with b5, then rook b6, and I think he's going to have to go for this, Peter.
Yeah, I think he
Rook
might have
b6,
to, but
rook
it's
h1.
not really. It's just not a problem. I just don't think it's a problem. Maybe the reason he is thinking is he can try to quote-unquote optimize and do it with a king. Because f2 is hanging, so we're not really worried about knight f4 takes e6. But I mean, it comes to the same. Yeah. It doesn't really change very much. We still go rook a1 here. We probably actually still go king f6.
Yeah. Just hang tight, just sit there forever and smile.
Yeah, we just missed it. There you have it. They're discussing the endgame that they played. It's a very heavily theoretical endgame. I think both of us are reasonably certain everything up to here is very well known, and perhaps even this endgame has been, I don't know, analyzed by engine games or what have you. This is, I think, relatively reasonable thing to suspect, because this is a fashionable line.
Has Lev drawn all of his games this tournament now?
No, he won one.
He won
one. Okay. He is on a very respectable +1 with a victory over Vincent. That very, very long game, which looked like a draw as well for quite a lot of it, but then suddenly wasn't. And Fabi is on +1 as well, having lost that painful game to Magnus a few rounds ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, a kind of a peaceful theoretical draw between the two St. Louis residents.
Yeah. It really does show that Jubal Tarash is holding up.